Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, and yes, I'm back here again. And thank you for stopping here for a moment. Look, I got something I really want to share with you. This is just one of those nights when the Super Bowl has just ended. The Kansas City Chiefs finally wins the Super Bowl, and it was kind of like I predicted. And it was a very good game. Had some people over, shared, laughed, talked, and enjoyed the game together. But there was one thing as I was thinking about going to bed because it's kind of late and I kind of had an enjoyed day. But I thought about you all day. And I'm trying to look at it and see how in the world can I sum it up? What kind of ways can I shorten it? How can I say it in a little less language and a lot of action so that it would have some significance? Because it's just that important. The only thing that's important to me is that it is an answer to your prayer. I've been blessed in such a way that I have had you come to me from in the pulpit and ask me to pray for certain things. And the prayers usually are common prayers. Your prayer is not unique. It's a common prayer. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to see if I can make this kind of fast because I want you to know I'm thinking about if I go to bed tonight and the good Lord, that invisible God that I've been telling you about, decide to bring me on out of this mess, decide that there's no good that I can accomplish here, and I might as well get out and decide to, in my wonderful sleep, just take me on out of here, and I'd never see you again. But with that thought on my mind, I'm asking myself, what is it that I could leave with you that's so valuable as far as I can see, that I can leave with you, that I can feel that it was worth it. All of it was worth it. And so that became very important to me, and it's a simple matter. I don't have to think about it because it's been here real for quite a long time. So I thought about I'd take a post and leave this with you. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and my sisters, I want you to know that there is a God, a real God. I'm not talking about what people believe. And you know what they believe because we got thousands of churches and denominations and all kinds of things that all represent beliefs. You even got Christian Republicans and Christian Democrats who take different odds on different issues and odds sometimes on the same issue, splitting God all up. All of that is because of belief. And why is it like that? It's because there's no one to teach you God's way of life. No one to teach you God's way of life. So you have no more business or relevance in dealing with God's way of life than speaking German or Chinese out of the blue. It's going to take some time to accomplish that. But the God's way of life is much simpler than that. For the heart that's searching to know where it is and ready to receive it once it is heard. So I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that if there was one thing when I was a kid, I believed I could accomplish anything. I used to watch teenagers swim across a lake having a good time. And being just a young boy, me and my peers, we could only hang around in a mud hole where we could try to dog paddle. I used to dream about one day going out there and swimming out there in the middle of that lake with all these big boys. And I decided that I was going to do it. Now, I didn't want to go out there trying to swim with these guys and not be able to do it. So I decided to do a practice run. I decided to go out to the lake when there was nobody out there that could swim. And I had convinced myself that I could do it. And ladies and gentlemen, I went out there one day and I decided and I made that move. I started swimming. Well, I first started dog paddling. I started getting a little distance. Then I started testing to see if I could stroke. And I was stroking pretty good. But there was something happened. I looked down the lake and I looked up the lake. And I saw a tree trunk and I saw a moccasin on it. And it scared me. I screamed. I got the snake's attention. The snake dropped in the water, headed my way. I tried to turn around to swim back. I started splashing water, and I was watching myself and I wasn't moving. I looked back and I couldn't see the snake. I didn't know where the snake was. I'm thinking he might be on me. What should I do? And all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, I started moving like a motorboat. I got to that bank, and I got out of that water buck naked. And as I got out, the snake came right up under me. And it went over to the side and found some real shallow water and curved up and just watched me. Now, for me, that was a fantastic thing. Did I actually swim? Did I actually accomplish this? How could I do this? Was this mind over matter? Was this believing in myself? Did I have the ability all the time? I'm sure there are people who hear the story and can agree with each and every one of those thoughts. With me, it was something that I hadn't seen before, but I was very appreciative. And after a while, I started thinking maybe it was more than that, but I didn't know what. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about this power that encourages me to stand before you and say the things to you that I'm saying to you right now, wanted to eliminate that doubt. So there was another occasion where I didn't make a decision. I didn't plan to do anything. I was just there taking care of business like I was supposed to have been taking care of business. And all of a sudden, something took control of me, ladies and gentlemen. I became paralyzed and couldn't move. I was in the cotton field chopping cotton with a hoe in my hand. I could not move, the hair standing up on the back of my neck. All of a sudden, something snatched the hoe out of my hand. Something twisted me around and got me running and screaming. People hollering, Eddie, what's wrong, what's wrong? All I could say is, I don't know. I just running and screaming. When I got to a distance that I felt comfortable, naturally I wanted to come back and investigate what was going on. And when I got back to that place where I was standing, I picked up that hoe and I took it and pushed the cotton back right where I was standing. That next move I made, there was a big cottonmouth moccasin right there, ready to get a piece of me. There I learned, ladies and gentlemen, that there was something more powerful than all the people on the earth. There was no person on earth that could help me at that moment. Nobody could even know what was going on. I sure didn't. But all of a sudden, I responded to something I could not resist, and that was getting out of there, only to come back and find how I was saved from danger. Now, the first one, I might try to excuse it and say I was somebody, but just by believing I can accomplish all things, I was somebody. Even if something else intervened and played a part, it's okay if I believed that I could do it. I accomplished something. But I guarantee you, this thing I just shared with you, there's no way. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it eliminated all doubt that there was a power more powerful than America, more powerful than any country on the face of the earth, more powerful than anything that people talk about. And that power watches you. That power is watching over you. She was watching over me. And it did something for me, but it gave me a message. The message that I got from, I didn't get it right away. No, I don't want you to think that I got it right away. It took me some time. I was probably about in my late 20s when I finally got the message. And I still didn't understand it till I got in my late 30s. But anyway, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I got this message now to tell you what happened. What happened to me? I was loved. I was loved. I had lost it all. I was as dead as anybody that's buried and covered in the grave. I was just that assured. But something happened to prevent that. And I stand here today. But I stand here only because of that something that I cannot see, can't touch, can't feel. But I'm here, evidence of its existence. And I stand here to tell you that it does exist. And I want you to know that the reason that I stand before you is because there's a message for me to give to you. And that there is a God. Ever since you've been on this earth, all you know is something else. That's why you speak English instead of Chinese, because that's what you've been taught. And everything that you are or are about is because of what you have seen, heard, and been told right here. And however you try to shape it, it's a reflection of this. And this other thing that is truth, that will expose this for what it is, has been kept away from you. And God wants to take advantage of this time for you to hear it again. When God made this earth, He made you, all human beings, common, all requiring survival on this earth in these bodies. So He prepared for you, and I'm going to say it fast because I say it all the time. He prepared for you by putting all the resources necessary from the beginning of time throughout millennium for any human being that exists at any time and any place, in any state of imagination, that which they require is that material outside of themselves is already there, whether it's on the earth, in the earth, above the earth, whether it's seen or unseen, and everything else required is in each of them, a portion of that, so that they may engage themselves and bring forth that which they desire, want, or need. And by so doing that, they have carte blanche, because all stuff that comes out of that belongs to them, and they can take from it as they desire, when they desire. And that will give you peace, prosperity, freedom. And that will give you joy of life and fulfillment of your dreams, and it doesn't cost you a penny. The carte blanche takes the place of anything that is required. It allows you to access it all. Now, that's the plan of life. That's the plan that God has for you. Had it for you from the beginning. And anything else is a con game. It's a deception. It's taking advantage of you because you did not know this. You didn't know this. Who told you? This is the first time you ever heard this in your life. You might have heard me say it on another tape, but other than that, nobody has ever told you that. Nobody. But you hear it today. And your life should never be the same again. Because you know everything else is all divvied up. Just the other day, they made a mockery of the God that they talked to you about. They told you about the fantasticness of this God, but yet this God and all that they taught you has allowed them to become so low that it seems as if they're not too far from the door of hell. And all that they've taught you has meant nothing. It's like good people that allowed all this to happen because they did nothing. They taught you to wait for a miracle rather than doing anything about it. But the God of life says, love, as God came to me, rescued me. That is what we are to be, one unto the other. Rescue us, rescue one another from any dangers or any harms, that we might see and understand and receive the blessings of God, that heaven is not a place to go to. It is in us. It's all around us. And we don't worry about the next step. That's in that power that we can't see. That's in that power's hand, which is in our hands. We handling this business. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. I feel like I have given it to you. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but all of it is wrapped up. The message that I've just given you is the message. And ladies and gentlemen, remember this. It does not require a leader. God, the invisible one, is the leader. And every human being that receives the Spirit of God within themselves will have this understanding. And any point where they fall short, immediately they will discover what the truth of any situation is. God is handling that. So don't be deceived. Don't let anybody come telling you that they got to lead you to paradise. God is doing the leading, and each of you are playing a major role in getting us there, protecting anything that would take anything from us, and making sure that it is forever the glory of God and not of any man. I want to thank you now. Goodbye.